Okay, guys, I don't want to be too loud. I'm currently at the dealership and I'm selling my car. It's been quite an emotional journey for me. A lot of tears were shed, but hey, this is what we needed to do in order to be able to make London a reality. So I'm just waiting for my mom to come because we need to have more signatures. So I guess the title signing over to me wasn't sufficient. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Bye bye, Malibu. Bye bye. It was fun. It was fun. Good times. Good times. There's a snake. There's Jesus. All right, so we're back in Washington D.C. And it's been a few days actually. I've been back for a few days. My whole like vlogging kind of thing got just haywired, and it came out a little wonky, a little not congruent in terms of time. But I also was kind of embracing that because I've been like, before I even traveled back out west, I was just talking to you guys from my bedroom, and it seemed a little bit predictable. And I always want to try new creative stuff to like keep it interesting, because also, like, you guys are the viewers, right? But I also have to edit this stuff, and I want to be like entertained, if not just base level amused at what I do. And so yeah, that's been the vibe we've been on. With that said, let me kind of update you guys on what's what's been going on. So basically, I gave my 2 weeks my 2 weeks notice for my job working for Fetch, and boy, they are not happy with me. So basically, what happened was, before I left for Oregon, I had to do a shadow walkthrough with someone who was going to be taking over my position. And the owner was there because this owner just needs to be there all the time. In fact, like, I say 8 out of 10 times I've taken their dog out to walk, like, they've been home because they don't trust me, or they don't trust themselves to hire someone or hire a company to take care of their elderly dog. It's a whole ordeal. And so what I said, because they were talking to me about the future, like it's talking about September, October even, and changing the schedule. And I was just like, I wanted to let them know that, I'm going to be moving on. And, we'd been working together for a few months. And so we built this rapport, even though I really didn't like at least one of the partners. But, we built a relationship, and it was just like, they were so earnest too. Like, I could tell that they care obviously so much about their dog, and they were talking to me like in terms of like making plans and stuff. And I'm not a liar, and there was also no reason for me to lie. So I just said, hey, remember how when we first met, I told you that I'm working towards getting a master's in international law, hopefully to go back to London. Well, I achieved that, and I'm going to be moving back, but I don't know when. Maybe sometime in September, but maybe end of August, but I don't know, and so I haven't told Fetch this yet. I'm going to when I know I'm going to be leaving. So I thought that was fine. I had a feeling that they were going to relay that to Fetch, not in like a nefarious way or anything like that, but just part of communications. Because the person that was shadowing me, like, if they trust her and they like her, then I wanted to help promote her to that position, because I know how guys, if you were there in the room with us, you would understand like why I decided to like share that information. Like, they needed that. I could tell they needed to like know that I wasn't just gonna be there one day and then magically just disappear, and then they have to start this whole trust thing over again in such a unpredictable, unfamiliar way. And so I was being a good employee. I was making sure that Fetch looked like they had their shit together, which they don't, because they're decentralized. They remove yourself from the labor. They're very capitalistic. They're not even based in DC. Like, they function in DC, but they're I don't know if headquarters. They're kind of like an insignificant company, but big. Their headquarters is Alabama, so I'm like, obviously you're doing that for tax purposes. Like, you guys are ruthless capitalists, and you know what? This is the system we live in, and we live on the East Coast. You know, so like, well, they don't, but it's the culture here. It's the culture. It's way more ruthless. The capitalism out here on the West Coast, on the East Coast, than on the West Coast. Maybe you could argue California, but it's just, anyway. So I share this information, and you know, I don't tell Fetch when I'm leaving, because I don't know when I'm leaving. And so months ago I had already requested time off for the first 12 days of August, and I got that extended a few days because of visa application issues with VFS Global, which has a monopoly on all visas international. That's a topic for another story. Anyway, I had those 12 days initially approved, and then I got extended for 4 more days. And during that time, I kept on getting like more assignments way in the future. So I started like getting everything booked for September, and you know, I was on my break, you know, but they still wanted me to like commit to them, even though I was like, oh, dude, like, I'm dealing with stuff. But they wanted me to commit. So even though I didn't know when I was leaving, and I just committed to all of them in September. And then like a day later, I got all like calendar requests for me to take care of a specific client for all of October. And I was just like, guys, like, these people change so often. Why are we what's you're just booking all this? I started like getting a little suspicious. Like, I'm now getting the vibe that they know that I'm going to give my 2 weeks, but they're so paranoid and insecure and just bad with people that they're doing all of these passive aggressive, you know, neoliberal tactics to like try sussing out the situation. And because I'm just participating in it, they're kind of losing their mind. And then it became evident that they were like trying to like test me, because I got like, there were 2 more requests for like 2 days in November. I was like, guys, it's the middle of August, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And these weren't things that I could just like not do, because they're very sassy, you know. They want you to be immediate, you know, even if you've requested time off, they don't fucking care. So it was really weird. But the day before I flew back to Washington DC from Oregon, I get a call from the person, one of the hiring managers, the person that I met with digitally, because they don't even live in DC, was very concerned, saying that well, I'm not. She was like Lowe's. She was like, I was talking to client blah blah blah, and they said that you were thinking of leaving, and I could tell that she was like so, like, she lost her mind. She was just so paranoid. I don't know what she was thinking, but apparently this had been taking up a lot of mental space for the past 16 days, because she brought up that they mentioned this in a phone conversation that they had at the end of July. And so she's been thinking about this, and maybe a few other people in the communications were thinking about okay, what's happening? Why isn't he? Why hasn't he talked to us? And I'm like, I don't owe you guys that. What I owe you out of courtesy and respect is my 2-week notice. But if I don't even know when I'm gonna be giving that 2-week notice, the fuck, I'm not gonna be talking to you about that shit. No, fuck off, fuck off. And so she was like, did you tell any other clients? I was like, no. I wanted to say no, because first of all, that's not my prerogative. I don't know what you're thinking I'm up to, but I only brought it up because one of your clients that I've been working for consistently feels the need to be there every single time, or nearly every single time I'm there, and are stressed to the max and worrying and so it just made sense. But they really didn't like that. It became really apparent that they want you just to be subordinate, just to be a worker. Don't help out. Don't help calm the fears, the reasonable fears and tensions that pet owners may have. And after that, I noticed that the two other, so I have 3 clients that I worked with. Two of those clients were immediately removed from my my schedule, and so the people who were taking care of those animals were just going to continue doing that. The people who took over for me during my break were just going to do that. I'm like, that's so sus. But the only client that I had left is just one, and that's because there's a lockbox and you just take the key and stuff, so you just need a code and whatnot. So I have one client left that I'm going to be taking care of Tuesday through Friday, I think, maybe Tuesday through the 29th, I should say. So yeah, it's been interesting dealing with all this stuff. I'm not taking it personally. There definitely was a time when I would take it personally, when I would think oh, maybe I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. And because they don't care to foster a culture of getting to know their employees, because everything is so decentralized, because the means of production is removed from the worker / from the capital owner, and maybe even talk about complexion, you know what I'm saying? It was just all a tangled mess, and it was not a pleasant exiting, but what can you do? The only thing I can do is handle how I react. I always make sure I keep my side of the street clean. So I just got an email from the person who hired me, and it was just it was in response to my my 2-week notice, which is so funny that it took them I sent this out on Saturday. It took them 2 days to get back to me, when they demand that I respond that quick. So yeah, it was just It was just let me tell you, okay. Hi, Ricky. We are sorry to lose your talents on our team. You are always welcome to return if you move back to the DC area. Thank you so much for everything you have done in your time with Fetch Pet Care. We appreciate your outstanding service. Please do not mention anything to your clients about your planned departure until we have introduced new employees to the account. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm just glad that I'm not, like, obviously I'm happy because I'm moving on, doing something I want to do. Like, I want to be in London. I'm so happy. I know it's going to be a way of me progressing in life, and you know, higher education is always good. It's always good. I'm just so glad I'm not this person or these people, because it would be so unpleasant to live in their heads. Oh my god. It'd be so unpleasant to live their lives, to be their age too. Not being ageist, but like, they come from a certain time and place. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, no, the future looks bright, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna fucking shine a spotlight on it to make sure it does look bright. With that said, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace and love. Bye. It's a daily vlog.